just for you. Let's see if we got any
Hey, Vinny.
sound. Nice. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA. We're going to be talking about call to action and customer engagement today. Okay, let's get started. Okay, but first, let's have a little fun. Okay, over here, is that Heinz? Serious problem, I think. Serious problem across the world. Let's go over here and we can read about it. Okay, when the Heinz runs out so fast, a lot of small restaurants fill their empty Heinz bottles with other ketchup brands like this. And you can see some of them don't look quite right. Look at that one. Some kind of orange instead of red. Is that Heinz? Is that Heinz? The label of truth for ketchup lovers everywhere. We identified the one and only true exact Pantone for Heinz ketchup. Unmistakable red. I think only an ad agency would get this. So we put it around the border, creating a dependable test. Is that Heinz? If the colors match the label, it's Heinz. Not Heinz. It's Heinz, not Heinz. And that's the way it is. The truth of the label of truth for ketchup lovers everywhere. Okay. Is that Heinz? Okay. And that's enough of that. So let's read about the Heinz ketchup fraud. Heinz turkey. Now I struggled with this because I thought, well, is this some kind of ketchup made out of turkeys? I didn't know. Anyway, Heinz turkey finds a Pantone label hack to disrupt ketchup fraud by Amy Houston. And then it says Wonderman Thompson turkey. And I thought, did they add a new partner to their name? I can't imagine that Wonderman Thompson would add somebody new. It turns out it's the country of Turkey, and it helped to have the person from Wonderman explain that. So now you can check the ketchup against the label and see if it's really Heinz. I'm impressed with Heinz getting the ketchup color right. Apparently they've bred their own specific types of tomatoes with a special they've got a lot more pulp in them than a regular tomato so that it makes the ketchup thicker. So they don't have to add thickeners to the ketchup. Okay, and that does matter to me. It matters even more in barbecue sauce because I like it to stick to my stuff. Anyway, Omid Tasli, I think, Executive Creative Director at Wonderman Thompson. It would be nice if it said of Turkey, but he or she does. The people of Turkey love Heinz and want to see it being served in the restaurants they visit. The problem is some small traditional restaurants or businesses fill the Heinz bottles with different ketchup. Could you imagine? This sounds like a marketing thing, a marketing ploy. Deception. Okay, and serve them as the original. I've heard, I wonder if people get upset. Well, I can understand Heinz getting upset. I don't know. We wanted to put an end to this so-called ketchup fraud and create an innovative solution. And it's not just in Turkey, I'm guessing. Okay, and there's another creative director over here, Anur Cutler. We wanted to put an end to this ketchup fraud, so we bottles with the new, this is funny, bottles with the new control label are being distributed to restaurants across the country. There will also be an Instagram filter to check the color of the ketchup, turning customers across Turkey into Heinz police. I wonder if they've caught anybody with this. Amy, I want you to do a follow-up story to see if Heinz is actually catching the fraudulent turkey ketchup counterfeiters. And I was a little surprised you didn't use counterfeit ketchup because it has a nice alliteration, not like ketchup fraud. Okay, you're probably neglecting the customer metric, the CX, customer experience. That's what CX means. CX metrics that matter most in 2003. Now, there's two people as authors to this, and they're from Razorfish. I don't know what a Razorfish is, to be honest, at all. It would be nice if it said, down below it has their titles way down here, but it doesn't really say what Razorfish is. Head of media at Razorfish. So I'm guessing it's an ad agency. And, increasingly these articles are seeming like they're more like they're written by AI because they're very repetitive. They use the same phrases over and over and over. Mark Ritson had one, and he admitted that it was a test to see how the AI would work. I thought he had a stroke or something. Anyway, when it comes to customer experience metrics, and I would say performance metrics in general, has nothing to do with customer experience, companies tend to fall into two groups. One, focused on metrics around conversion, acquisitions, registrations. How about sales and profits? The other is focused around brand metrics such as awareness and affinity. Okay, now, what they never say in this article is what product are you selling? They talk about the long customer journey and all the different data that you can get. And if you watch a video, that's really important. They really like that. But I think, there's very few things that I have much of a customer journey on, right? In general, yes, we do buy Heinz, although I think my wife snuck in some Aldi ketchup, and I can't tell the difference hardly. Must be good. Must be good. And, we try generics. We try Aldi stuff. We like $2 Chuck. I actually do. And except it's $3 in Wisconsin, but still a good value. So we like a good value. Do we have a customer journey? The journey is the drive to Aldi. It's a little farther away than our Piggly Wiggly or Sendix or Pick and Save. We drive past two of them to go to the Piggly Wiggly, but we sometimes go to Aldi. So, these metrics are not, cost per acquisition, maybe. Conversion, not sure even what that means, right? In direct mail, we tend to focus on response rate because we have a list, so we know the response rate. That's the number of orders. It's not clicks, right? It's not even leads. It's usually orders. And it's very difficult to make that customer journey pay off. Okay? Just very, very expensive. Very, very difficult, especially in direct mail. To have a two-step campaign where you get someone's attention and they say, "Oh, I'd like more information," or something. Plus, on the internet now, the customer's more in control anyway, so they don't need you to give them more information. Anyway, so what the article argues, I'm not going to get into a whole lot of depth. The reason I like the article is it says engagement is underappreciated. But what they mean by engagement is so slight that it's almost non-existent. Okay? It's like, okay, they visited your website. They moseyed around your website. And, you give them a cookie. And then you say, oh, they came back to the website. Give them another cookie. Or maybe you put a banner ad or a pay-per-click, and then they came to a landing page and you gave them a cookie, and then they come back to your website and you give them another cookie. I've worked in the realm of purchase data. Okay. Which products did they buy from us? And I can tell you that purchase data, which is way, way more indicative of their actual desires, their actual behavior, than wandering around your website lost because your website's so confusing. And I can tell you, it's very, very difficult, even with millions of customers, to leverage purchase data. You have to be very, very creative with data to take that information, which is solid, hard data, and turn it into something that is not only actionable, drives personalization, but actually makes a difference in response rate and sales per piece and profit per piece. So I just kind of laugh at this. I mean, I've never had a client that bothered to pull this all together. I can put it in my models. I have enough variables available, but I can tell you it's precious impossible if we can't get buying data to work. RFM even is difficult. Sometimes it works opposite of what you think, right? So if we can't get that to work on when was the last time they bought and how much did they spend and how many have they bought, if you can't get that to work, that basic, then boy, oh boy. Plus, I've noticed that so many, especially e-commerce companies, don't really care what I think. I actually write them. I call them, I write them, I tell them. I've got a bag of Food Club flour here right now. See that? It's empty because I used it for baking bread. It was 1 cup short of what it says on the package. I could call the state attorney general, I bet. Anyway, I've called them before. It's same as before. They haven't improved it. Okay, so there's more data than ever, but it's not necessarily a good thing. You know what you get when you have more data? Spurious correlations. With enough data, you can correlate anything to anything. There's also room for more noise. Absolutely true. Okay? Knowing how to use and incorporate the most valuable data is more practical than trying to collect everything available. Absolutely true. Okay, so I was waiting for some conclusion on the CX basics. But the truth is, we don't know our customer journey. We don't know why we make decisions. We don't know when we're going to make the next decision. And we don't know what we're going to decide to buy. And I'm not talking about with or without their metrics. I'm talking about in my own head. I don't know the next thing I'm going to buy. Resources are limited. Always. We're trying to save money, keep the household running. And we debate it in our own heads. And so, knowing all I know about me, I have trouble predicting me. And I certainly can't predict my wife. So, given all that, I'd say be careful. Engagement is important, but in a global sense. Okay, and then this is a follow-up from the Lob's consumer study, Guide to Direct Mail Calls to Action. And again, it sort of circles around. There are a lot of effective things. You always want to ask for the order. You want to have a way to respond. In the old days, we used to check the phone number. Many classic mistakes are to have the wrong phone number that no one can answer. But the same thing can be said for a landing page that doesn't exist or links that are broken. You can send a postcard and get someone to go to a URL. That can be a call to action. QR code was not mentioned as far as I saw. Ask yourself, what is your goal? What stage of the sales funnel is the target recipient in? That's a toughie because, as I just said, you don't know what sales funnels are difficult, right? Especially in a world where they can go and find the information for themselves. I mean, it used to be, you'd put an ad up and, we're announcing the great Kabuna widget that we just invented, and it will solve all your Kabuna problems, okay? And so people would have to, circle the bingo card number and ask for information, and then you'd send the information, and about 1 out of 10 was really interested in buying a Kabuna solution. And but everybody had to, go through the manufacturer or whatever to get the information. We held all the cards. Now we don't. So it's difficult to make this, to make the traditional sales funnel actually work because they can jump around, right? And 44% of consumers prefer communication via direct mail from brands they don't know. Direct mail can be an excellent complement to your digital efforts to see what channels campaigns and call to action drive real action for their new customers. That's, great. And you can have retention campaigns for your customers, and you can have reactivation for your old customers, and understand your audience's intent. I would assert that is darn near impossible, but you might speculate: are they coming to you to solve a problem? Are they coming back to you because they're loyal customers, which is a few and far between thing? Because most of your customers buy once and you don't hear from them again. Maybe because you don't try, but maybe because that's just the way it is. I always like this. Use words like discover. Bob Hacker taught me that. Don't say learn, because it reminds them of school, which they hated. Say discover. I don't know if I'd use achieve for that same reason. But words can matter, and you can test all this stuff. Run A/B tests. That's at the end. A/B testing, and it doesn't have to be A/B. With modeling technology, we can run multi-dimensional tests that can test bunch of stuff. But oftentimes A/B is the simplest. But make sure that your panels are comparative, are homogeneous, right? Be careful how you do the A/B split, okay? And so that was a kind of a so-so article from Lob, and the article was written by guest author. So I don't know who I'm talking to here, but I will. I think my friend Ms. Courvoisier is back from her trip, and I will reach out to her to see if I can find out who did this. Have a great day. Like and share. Remember your customers. Ask them to order, right? And take good care of them. That's what customer experience is about. Bye-bye.